Let's go back to our main story about the Pegasus spyware scandal. Emmanuel Macron calling for greater security around his personal communications and indeed the French government. This in the light of the Pegasus spyware scandal, where it's revealed that Morocco apparently tried to hack his personal mobiles. Morocco, on the other side of this, is launching a libel case, a defamation case against Amnesty International and the Forbidden Stories, a group of media, including Le Monde newspaper, for breaking this story. So there is obviously a heck of a controversy brewing and continuing to bubble over. Let's bring in our guest, Samia Erazouki, who we tried to speak to earlier, Moroccan journalist, PhD student at University of California. Samia, I hope you can hear us clearly now. We can see you.
Yes.
We can hear you. That's a very good sign. We can see you smiling. That's great. Samia, Macron acting late was what I said to you first time round, but better late than never, perhaps.
Indeed. I mean, I think what we're seeing is an unprecedented sort of diplomatic row unfold, not just between Morocco and France, but also on a domestic level. I mean, I think the most damning allegation here and report is that the head of Morocco's intelligence and police forces, Abdelatif Hamouchi, was behind, targeting not just Emmanuel Macron with surveillance, but Morocco's very own king, Mohammed VI. This is obviously in addition to a number of other targets whose names have been revealed, many of whom are known as being critical dissidents, activists, and journalists. So I think that this is both sort of a bifurcated scandal, if you will, on both a diplomatic international scale, but also a domestic one.
I hear what you're saying. It's like an onion. It's got many layers, hasn't it, this whole story? And obviously this idea that there's some kind of a deep state monitoring going on is extremely sinister. Morocco to sue over this, launching a case here in France against Amnesty and the media behind this story. What do you make of that move from Morocco?
I think it perhaps takes us away from the bigger point here, which is that if there's anywhere where an investigation and a legal case should be opened, it's within Morocco. I think any other country, if the head of the intelligence agency was accused of targeting the head of state with surveillance, that there would be a thorough investigation. We have not seen that happen in Morocco. And perhaps, this is just a way to detract a little bit from, the bigger picture, which is that within the past few years, Abdelatif Hamouchi has, slowly grown in terms of his power and his influence in Morocco. And this is not the first time he is at the center of a diplomatic row between Morocco and France. If you remember, in 2014, he was accused of torturing activists who then filed a lawsuit in Paris. France then subsequently decorated him with the Legion of Honor in 2015. In the same year, he was appointed as head of the police, in addition to being head of the intelligence agency. And since then, we have seen a steady erosion of rights, press freedom. And I think that we can look back and see that all of these developments point to the steady rise and ascent of Abdelatif Hamouchi.
Indeed, that all kind of traits of authoritarianism, aren't they? I'm kind of left wondering, though, why would Morocco want to bug France? Why would Morocco want to actually be listening into its own king? Why is that happening? Why did that happen, do you think?
I think it's less of if they want to, but more so to show that they can. Again, this is not the first time Morocco has also been engulfed in a sort of international scandal regarding spyware and surveillance. Back in 2012, there were numerous reports of Morocco targeting a number of activists abroad with spyware from the Italian-based hacking team. So I think it's less of just wanting to as much as it is, they being able to, and being able to do it without impunity, because there were no significant consequences for the first round of targeted surveillance attacks. And so I think the lack of impunity has emboldened Morocco, and I think the result is clear.
Samia Erazouki, Moroccan journalist and PhD student at the University of California, thank you very much indeed for your analysis. We appreciate your time.